Residual is now available on the App Store. It actually was available last week, but I completely forgot to mention it in last week's video. But it's now on the App Store, Residual. So you can now play it on your iPad or your iPhone and crash on any planet from anywhere. And I think on Twitter I mentioned even the toilet. So, hey, by the way, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel, created this game, launched this game, like I said, last week on iPhone, and there was very little stress. I want to talk about that after the intro. Alright, so I released a lot of games over the years, and somebody asked me just last week, based on Residual, if there is still stress when releasing a game. Do I still have that release stress, the nerves and the panic? And yes, I have all those things. Except on Residual, actually. This time I had everything planned and set up, and also Residual has been through a roller coaster. So the launch on PC and Switch was a year ago, precisely a year ago, and I had a Kickstarter before that. There was a publisher attached to it. And I already had revenue come in from PC and Switch versions. Sorry if my eyes are dwindling everywhere, but there are cats terrorizing my light setup. Loki, don't. Alright. So yeah, the stress for the iPhone version, this was more a thing that just needed to be done. I promised people it would release on mobile, and here it is on iPhone. Android version is coming in October. I have it on my Android device already. The reason I'm launching those two versions separate is Apple, pretty much. Because I'm kind of hoping maybe there is a little chance that Apple will feature the game in their game of the day, which is pretty much the front page of the App Store. If you go to the App Store on your device, there's a page there that showcases different things and different programs and apps and games. I'm kind of hoping I'll get that feature. Some years ago that was worth a good amount of downloads. These days I don't know. I have no clue, but I hope to find out. I also know the chances to get there are better if your game didn't launch on Android at the same time as it did on Apple. That's just old rivalry between Google and Apple. Developers get caught in the mix of that. Anyway, as a user you also get caught in the mix, because that's the reason I'm delaying the game on Android. Just a little bit, tiny bit. If it doesn't happen, the feature, so be it. It could still happen months later or weeks later. But that's the reason I'm delaying the Android version. That's just business. Another thing that's business is the price point. Obviously the iPhone version is a lot cheaper than the PC version, or as some people, I think one or two, commented, the Switch version. PC Switch version is at $20. iPhone mobile version will be at $4 or $5, depending on your country. Australia something $8 maybe. There's a difference there, and it's not that the Switch or PC version are more expensive, it's that sadly the mobile version is less expensive. You can't, or I can't, ask $20 for a mobile game. It's the exact same game, it's the same amount of work went into it, even more, to get it all mobile and touchscreen ready. It took me a couple of extra months work to get the mobile version up and running. There's just, the problem is the marketplace, the App Store, Google Play. Those players are saturated with free games. Mobile gaming took a crash and a dive over the years, where prices just went lower and lower. Luckily those days are gone, because else I would have released this for 99 cents. But luckily I noticed that premium games that don't have in-advertisement or in-app advertisement, in-app payment, all that stuff, premium games now go for between $4 and $10. So there is an upward trend, I think, for mobile games with a price tag on it. But I'm not the person who's gonna drive that price tag higher and higher. So yeah, mobile version is cheaper, but you're playing it on a different type of device, so there's a balance there. Obviously, if I could, the price would have been the same as on PC. I think the game's worth that, especially considering how much went into it, time-wise, money-wise, investments all over. It's worth it, and it's not a $60 game. but it's a $20 game. Except on mobile, I simply cannot ask people to pay that, or I would have no sales at all. Which is something maybe we should talk about, sales. It's now Monday as I'm recording this video, like last Monday. The game went live last Thursday, so went live on the September the 8th, it's now the 12th. 247 copies sold. That's not a lot. I was hoping for more. I already see it dipping very, very fast. I think of those 247 copies, there were like 125 pre-orders. Thanks for those. Those are the fans. So not a lot of people got reached after that. I did everything that had to be done, mailing out early keys, like 2 or 3 weeks before the release. I had keys out to the bigger sites, Touch Arcade, Pocket Gamer, a few others. Did the mailing listing on release day so that all the news sites knew about it. Everybody that's on my newsletter, I mailed you, you got an email as well. So I went through all the steps and the phases. It just was less stressful this time because, to be honest, the iOS or the mobile version is going to be a long-term thing. I didn't expect to make a lot of money or double revenue in any way. I expect this game to be still selling copies like the next 10 years, especially on Android. So that's the reason I had a little stress. The game already did very well on PC and Switch, especially due to the Kickstarter and the publisher behind it and what happened with all that. So low numbers, but I'm not stressing over them at all, at least not for this game. I find it very concerning that these numbers are so low for my next game. Obviously, I want to release Regulated City at some point and already feel the struggle of making sure that finds an audience. It's painful, it's hard, it's difficult, and I don't think that's ever gonna change. So yeah, I am fearing that a little bit, but for Residual, yeah, no real worries. The game is coming to Android as well. It's going to be a long-term thing. The mobile version will be discounts in the future, and it will keep selling little bits and here and there, and hopefully attract new players that will check out my other games, as I talked about in these videos many times. We're still looking at an Xbox and a PlayStation version. Problem with Xbox, it was all set up and ready to go, but then the publisher stepped out of it and it had to be transferred to Orangepixel. By the time it was transferred, it had to be updated, but Microsoft changed things with its support for its GDK or whatever. They have a new SDK that needs to be used, and Monogame isn't ready for that just yet. So we can't really create that update and push it. And that's also the reason why all the other games are not happening on Xbox yet. And we kind of delayed a bunch of things and it got pushed, and now we pushed it so far that we pushed ourselves into a corner. We have to wait for Monogame to get ready to work with the new Microsoft Xbox stuff. And then we'll be able to jump back into that. PlayStation version, there was a lot of doubt if we still had developer kits after the publisher stepped out. So we didn't know if we could actually build and maintain that version on PlayStation. Now there's more clear. Now that's all cleared up, and we should be able to do that. Just haven't looked into it because of all the other stuff going and happening. And but PlayStation version is still coming, Xbox version is still coming, Android version coming, and an Atari VCS version coming for the couple of viewers that actually have an Atari. So Residual is still going to different platforms. And of course I still want to work on the update, but we'll have to figure out how I'm gonna fit all that in with all the new projects. And as I'm releasing this video, Space Grunts is being released on the Atari. I think I mentioned a few weeks ago, I have a lot of launches and releases coming up. That's 2 of them. So if you have an Atari, check it out. Space Grunts is on there right now, I think, or tomorrow, or this weekend at least. I hope you enjoy it. A lot of people tell me this is my best game. A lot of other people tell me Heroes of Loot is the best game. A lot of other people tell me Residual is. Anyway, check it out. So, and that's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Just a little talk about Residual and the launch. And thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. If you have any questions about this, comment below and I will answer them. Or jump on the Discord and I will answer there and talk about things. So yeah, that's it. Any of the cats got anything to add? I think we're done. Thanks for watching. Bye.